Hello, my name is Fernando, and I'm here to talk to you about the respiratory system and its structures. I will be utilizing a 3D model of the lungs to give you a better view of understanding of what I'm talking about. First, we're going to start with some paranasal sinuses, which are air-filled cavities. We have frontal sinuses located at the forehead. These are found bilaterally. We have a right and also a left. Then we have the maxillary sinuses, which are located in the cheek area by the nose. They're also found bilaterally, and we also have a right and a left. This portion here that I'm circling is called the pharynx, which consists of 3 portions. First, the upper portion of the pharynx is called the nasopharynx. This is where bacteria and debris become trapped by the mucus secret goblet cells lining the nasopharynx. Right below the nasopharynx, we have the oropharynx, which is aligned with stratified squamous epithelium. Now, the most inferior part of the pharynx is the laryngopharynx, which ends at the larynx. Now we have the larynx, which begins at the base of your tongue. The larynx has 9 cartilages that are connected internally with muscles and ligaments. The largest of the 9 cartilages is the thyroid cartilage, as seen here. This is also known as the Adam's apple. Another fun fact that the larynx also contains our vocal cords. Now coming down, I'm going to talk to you about the lungs. This is our right lung, which is slightly larger than our left. It has 3 lobes. We have a superior lobe, a middle lobe, and an inferior lobe. These lobes are separated by fissures. Here we have a horizontal fissure, and then here we have an oblique fissure. This is our left lung. It's smaller than the right and only has 2 lobes, a superior and inferior lobe, and 1 fissure, which is an oblique fissure. Now, as we look at the center of the thoracic cavity, this area between the lungs is called the mediastinum. This is where the heart is located. Part of the heart bulges to the left a little, causing an indentation on the left lung known as the cardiac notch, as seen here. Now, this tubular-like structure is called the trachea. It consists of dense connective tissue. It has C-shaped rings of hyaline cartilage, and the posterior side of the trachea contains a smooth muscle known as the trachealis muscle. Now, at the end of the trachea, which usually ends at the level of the 5th thoracic vertebrae, we have the carina. This is where 2 tubular structures divide into each lung. Here we have the left main bronchus, then we have the right main bronchus. They then divide into smaller branches called the lobar bronchi, and then even smaller branches called the segmental bronchi. At the very end of the segmental bronchi, you will see very tiny balloon-like air sacs called the alveoli. This is where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in the blood. Did you know that we have at least 300 million alveoli in each lung? Now, going back to the lungs, the most superior portion of the lungs are the apices of the lung. This area is crucial when it comes to respiratory diseases. For example, this is an area of high interest when one is infected with tuberculosis. Now we're going to go down to the most inferior part of the lung. This area is called the costophrenic angle. This is a common area of interest when it comes to pleural effusion. Now, we can't see it here, but right below the lungs, we have a dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm. The diaphragm separates the thoracic and abdominal cavities. And when taking a deep breath in, the diaphragm contracts and flattens, and then relaxes when you exhale. Thank you for your time. That concludes the video. I hope you have a better understanding on the respiratory system and their structures.